Hey guys, what is up? It's been a little while, like nearly a week, since I last did a Get Ready with me. I've been busy, We took a couple of days off last week. Well, we didn't take a couple of days off, we took one day off. We took Thursday off. I went to Bristol last week to get a second opinion about my wrist. And the second opinion was basically the same as the first, so fun times. But today I thought I would jump on as I'm putting my makeup on. We're recording a podcast in a bit. I'm going to record some content, so I'm going to do my makeup now instead of earlier today. I'm also going to try and put some fake eyelashes on live on air. so if you're up for a laugh, hang around, stick around. Okay. So today I'm going to answer some questions that I've had through. I've got a list here. Where are they? Here they are. Hey, Kath, my girl. My questions. Okay, and if you guys have got any questions as you're live, I will answer those as a priority. So make sure you get those in. Otherwise, I'm just going to answer the questions I've been asked on my stories, and I'm going to answer them here for you guys. Okay, so what is up, Kath and Addie? Okay, so the first question is, should I lose weight or tone up first? So it wasn't phrased like that. It was phrased something like, I need to lose some weight, but I'm going to do some arm exercises, so then I can tone up. So I'm going to first of all explain what toning up actually is. Okay, let's start with that. So actually, let's start with body composition. Ooh, let's get fancy. So body composition is the composition of your body, how your body is built up. So for example, you've got lots of different things that make up your weight, your muscle mass, your glycogen stores, so like your carbs basically. You've also got body fat, lean tissue, so muscle, bones. You've got lots of things, right? Even your hair, right? It doesn't really make up your body weight, but your body composition, but it does make up your total weight. So you've got all of these different things going on in your body. And even though you're probably going to say to me, my scales track this, it doesn't. Or it might, but it does a really shitty job of it, so don't listen to it. Where's my sponge? There it is. So this is really important to know, because if you are, let's say you're 200 pounds, right? Let's just pick a random round number. You're 200 pounds, and well, there's two people at 200 pounds. One of them has got 20% body fat, and one of them has got 40% body fat. Even though they weigh the same, one of them is going to look way better than the other one, because one of them has got more fat than the other. Now, what if let's say you were 150 pounds and you lost, let's say 150 pounds and you were 15% body fat, right? And then you lost muscle. Well, now your body fat percentage would increase, because even if you're the same weight, now you've got less muscle, so your body fat percentage is increased. So your body fat is a percentage of the total weight. If your muscle decreases but your weight stays the same, that means you've got more body fat, right? So it isn't as simple as like, oh, well, I'm lighter, so I must have lost fat. Or it's not as simple as I'm lighter, so I must have more muscle mass. Or I've stayed the same, so I've got more muscle mass. This is, unfortunately, very rarely the case. So you need to make sure that you've got some idea of what's going on. So how can you track this if you just said to me, this is crap? It is crap. So what you need to keep an eye on is your measurements, your photos, etc., etc. Performance at the gym, for example. And if you're doing like a load of cardio, there's no way you're putting on muscle. Okay, that's first and foremost. So how do you I've got some lovely. No, thank you. Whoever just commented on my thing, no thank you. So what should you do first? Toning up or building or losing fat? So when you tone up, what you're doing, someone that's toned hasn't got long muscles. Remember that was a thing where everyone's like, do you want long, lean muscles? Well, muscle is lean anyway. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're not subscribing to this kind of shit. But also you need to be thinking about muscles that are toned, or your body that is toned has got high muscle mass and low body fat percentage. That's literally all it is. So what is the quickest way to build muscle and lose body fat? Which is the best order to do in? Should we be trying to build and then do fat loss, or should we be doing getting to our goal weight and then build a muscle? Honestly, it is harder to build muscle than it is to lose fat. All right. So the best thing to do is to go and build muscle. What happens in this time also that you build a muscle is that your metabolism is increasing, which means you're burning more calories at rest, which is good. This is what we want to happen. We want to just be sitting fat, like fat burning machines. That's what we want in life, right? We just want to eat what we want and lose weight, feel good, or lose fat, I should say, feel good in our skin and all of that kind of stuff. So the best way to do it is not to try and lose weight and then build muscle, because it's very, very difficult, especially as you get older. And when I say older, past mid-30s, it gets very difficult to build muscle. So we want to make sure that we are building muscle as early as possible in our lives. And what should come from that is, if you're eating well, if you're eating appropriately and you're doing the right workouts, the right amount of workouts at the right intensity, you should be burning fat at the same time. Okay. So that's the way to do it. Let me just check over on Instagram too. Okay, guys, if you've got any questions on TikTok, you can also ask. Okay, so next question I have, if that is helpful for you guys, is what to eat before a workout. I split this up into two actually, because they say that they work out before work in the morning. Okay, so generally before a workout, you want to be eating high carbs. Okay, so you're going to be eating carbs. I normally say about 50% of someone's carbs for the day should be around your workout. So if your carb target is 200, you want around 100 grams either side of your, or around your workout. So you want 50 before and 50 after. Now, this is if you know your macros, if you are a little bit more advanced. But for most people, you're not advanced. So what you want to be doing is just thinking, okay, I need like a high carb snack pre-workout. And what does this look like? This is going to look like rice cakes, jam on toast, Haribos, like things like that. Rice, white rice, things that are really fast absorbing. So what happens is that when you eat your carbs are obviously high in sugar, especially if they're quick digesting ones, right? So you're going to eat them. It's going to go straight into your bloodstream rather than take time for your body to digest it. So if you're eating broccoli, that is a carb food, but it's gonna, because it's fibrous, it takes a longer time to break down. So it's gonna take longer. And then when you get to your workout, the energy is kind of like drip fed through your system. Instead of if you eat like a rice cake with jam on it, you're gonna go like boom, all your energy, and then it's gonna slowly leave, get rid of it through time, through quite quick time, but your body's going to be utilizing that in your workout. So that's what you should eat pre-workout. What if you wake up before work, right? Maybe you're one of these people who works out early morning. Then I would say you could, depending on the time, you could have like an apple. That would be a good shout. Apples are very, very good to have pre-workout. Or you could just go fasted. That's another thing. You could just not eat. If you are training to be an athlete, you're probably going to want to eat. But if you're training to lose fat and build muscle, then you're probably going to be okay, depending on how advanced you are. You probably don't need like a pre-workout meal. You could probably just go fasted. You're going to be fine. Even myself now, I used to train fasted. I used to train at 5. But even now that I'm on this aggressive diet, I'm training fasted at like 10-ish. So I try not to eat until after my workout, because I'm on such low calories for this specific diet. I'm not saying that you need to do this, but I'm saying it is possible. So you don't need to be paranoid about eating before a workout. If you feel lightheaded or dizzy frequently in your workouts, then obviously that's something different. But generally, we're going to be okay to work out fasted. But again, if you're working out to be an athlete, you need to be eating before. And as we're talking about that, we may as well talk about post-workout, which needs to be protein and more carbs. So carbs will refill your glycogen stores. And obviously protein is going to help rebuild the muscle that you've just torn down in your strength building workout, because we all know we should be lifting weight and not doing a ton of cardio to lose weight, right? Right, yeah, I thought so. Okay. Okay. Since turning 40, I have been having brain fog and bloating. How do I fix this? I'm too tired to go to my gym classes. I think lots of people will resonate to this. If you resonate with this, pop it in the comments so other people can see they are not alone. It's a very isolating feeling, I think, especially at that age when you're kind of creeping towards menopause. You start thinking, oh my God, now is the time. Shit. But actually, typically 40, depending on how this person is. Since turning 40, I've had this. So I'm not sure how old this person is, but when we are in our late 30s, mid 30s, 40s, and beyond, we have more stress than when we're in our 20s, right? So stress and high cortisol can also give these symptoms of brain fog, fatigue, not so much bloating directly. Like stress makes you hold weight around your belly, but it's not specifically fat. But the rest of it, yes, it can definitely be a contributing factor to this, right? So people automatically think when they're 40, oh my God, it's perimenopause. And people automatically go to the GP and be like, I'm perimenopause, I'll put me in HRT. But actually, where's my palate? God damn, my palate's like a mile away. But actually, typically, what it is it's normally stress. I'm going to just grab. Right, yeah, okay, cool. It's normally stress. So that's the first thing I'd be looking at with someone like that is, am I doing any stress reduction, or am I just blazing through the day, trying to get everything done myself, not asking for help, being like, I can do this, having a stressful job, trying to look after the kids, run a household, work your job, be a friend, get your steps in, get your water in, hit your protein, get your workout. Like, all of these things are very, very stressful. So is that what we're doing? Or are we doing some stress management throughout the week? Like, you do not need to be doing exercise if you're stressed out, okay? I would way rather, in fact, I've got a client who's very stressed at the minute, and we've taken her workout out and we've reduced them. And she's like, oh, I miss my old workout. But what we're working on right now is her stress reduction. And when you exercise, your body is going to go into oh my God, we are still stressed and it's not going to recover. So you've got to take the time out, and you have to look to reduce your stress as in as many places as possible, meaning what you eat. So you want to have like low stress foods, cortisol reducing foods. If you want a list of those, just message me saying, can you send me some low cortisol foods or cortisol reducing foods, and I'll get them over to you. Normally I've got a keyword, but I don't right now for this because I've just said I would do it. So just message me saying that's what you want, and I will shoot you a list over. But also things like workouts, and then things like, okay, am I taking any time out for myself, or am I just doing everything for everybody else and trying to be Miss Independent, which actually makes you fail in the long run? And you need to be thinking about, where can I delegate? Where can I delegate work out? Can I ask the kids to do something? Can my partner do the cooking or something this week? I know as we are quality control freaks, we don't like to give that over to anyone else. We don't like to hand that responsibility over to anyone else. But ultimately, it's going to make a big, big difference in your life. So that's what I would first be looking at, is stress. And then also, I mentioned earlier on gut health. So making sure gut health is good. What does this look like? It looks like pre-workout, pre-workouts. It looks like probiotics, prebiotics, and then postbiotics, but generally pre and pro are something that we are all missing or don't have enough of in life. Actually, I've just finished my can of kombucha. So if you guys are looking to improve your gut health, kombucha is a really easy way to increase that. I don't mind it. Cam hates it, but I really, really don't mind that brand. So it's Remedy, I think it is. Yeah, Remedy, and it is wild berry. Sometimes I get like pink lemonade or whatever, but they're really, really good. I try to have one a day. Um, and then your fiber, so your plants, making sure that you're eating enough plants across the day. So a plant is not like go outside and eat a rose. That's a bit thorny. You need to be adding in, oh shit, things like fruit, veg, nuts, seeds, beans, pulses, spices. Did I say spices? Those are the kinds of things that you need to be adding in to your week. You need 30 across the week. That's the ideal. And what you'll find is not only will you have more energy because now your nutrients are being absorbed because your gut health is improved, and now you're eating more nutrients through the prebiotics. So you're feeding the gut microbiome, which means that you're going to absorb the nutrients and use them better. You're going to have better digestion and less bloating, but also you're going to have less brain fog because the gut and the brain are interconnected. So if you've got inflammation in your gut through typically processed foods, things like stress, that can then cause inflammation in the brain also. So it is this big cycle. And those are the two things I would be working on. And the third thing, when it comes to I'm too tired to do my gym classes, is that if you are, I don't care what age you are actually, don't do a gym class. Like I wasn't saying if you're over 35, don't do gym classes, but it doesn't matter what age you are, don't do gym classes. Instead, work on building muscle because you might be like, oh, I'll build muscle when my reserves start to go down. But if you haven't built the reserves in the first place, you're going to lose muscle very, very quickly. So as we age, it becomes more difficult to build muscle and the rate of your muscle breakdown increases. So if you haven't got much to start with, your muscle will decrease very, very quickly. And then basically you're going to be screwed. And we don't want that, do we? Because that's going to slow down your metabolism. That means you're going to gain more belly fat. And as you already know, when you're in perimenopause, your belly fat increases anyway. There is a reason for that, but I'm not going to go into it today. Okay, so that's how I would fix that. And then things like stress management. What are you doing for you? Are you taking any time out? Are you going on your phone as soon as you wake up? If so, like pack that in, stop it. Instead, you need to be like going outside, getting some daylight, being in nature. Like those are the things that's really going to help. Um, it also helps with bloating as well, actually. And then your sleep. How is your sleep? Are you sleeping well? Are you waking up through the night? Are you on your phone crashing at the end of the night? Like what is going on there? So that's another thing. Okay. Uh, how much protein should I eat? This is something I get asked all the time. And I feel like there's always like a battle going on in the health and fitness space, right? Sometimes it's like, you need to be vegan, or you need to not eat this, or you need to do that. And it's like getting horses for courses in a Scot. Like, you don't know what that person needs, okay? If that person is intolerant to vegetables, stop telling them to eat a plant-based diet. You do not know them, you don't know their medical conditions or needs. If someone is intolerant or like gets really bad problems with animal protein, stop telling them they need to eat animal protein. Okay, we need to be listening to people and their problems rather than just being like, this worked for me, do it. It really annoys me, that does. Anyway, this is my new powder. Oh, it's not powder, it's a gel. Looks right though, I think, doesn't it? My new applicator. Um, okay, anyway, so how much protein should I be eating? I've seen recently people going, you don't need that much protein. Science says you don't need that much protein. It's like, or like the government say you don't need that much protein. Yeah, the government want you to be sick. They don't want you to be healthy because unhealthy people are more easily manipulated. So we don't want you to be healthy. We want you to be sick so we can manipulate you more. It's a conspiracy theory for you, isn't it? But actually, you should be eating. And also, what is okay and adequate is not what is optimal. So we want to be looking what is optimal. And the optimal amount is approximately 1 gram per pound of body weight. So if you are 140 pounds, if you're 10 stone, you should be looking at 140 grams of protein a day. Oh my God, that's so much. It is a lot for someone who isn't working on it actively. But if you are working on it actively, you should be able to hit at least 100 grams without any protein shakes. And then after that, you can add protein shake in, you're going to be bumped up. And there are different tactics to use to get to your goal. Look, I've been having too much fun with this brush. Now it's not good. Oh well, tough shit, isn't it? Tough. Screwed it now. Anyway, maybe I'll fix it with this. So if you are though, say you are 250 pounds and you're like, oh, I can't even imagine eating 250 grams of protein. That is ridiculous. It is a lot. And so I wouldn't recommend it. In this case, if you're a woman and you're over 180 pounds, I would go to your goal weight. And most people's goal weight is somewhere between 120 and 150 pounds or 160 maybe. So go for that. Let's say your goal is 150 pounds, 10 stone 10. But you're currently eating 70 grams of protein. You don't want to go from 70 to 150, right? You want to go 70 to 90, 90 to 110, 110 to 130, 130, 150. You want to be going up 20s at a time, but not day to day to day. So you'd go 90, 90, 90, 90, 90. If you can do that for 4 to 5 days. Okay, now 110, 110, 110, 110, 110. 4 to 5 days, maybe 6 to 7. Then 130 for 7 days, 14 days. And then when you can hit that much, then you can start to go up to the top and stay as consistent as possible. So that is the way you should do your protein. Okay. Okay. What diet is best? That is a difficult question to answer because it all depends. As always, it depends on what the goal is. So I could talk to you guys about why some diets work. That might be helpful. Some people are like, vegan diets work. Yeah, they do because you're fucking starving. Because you don't want to eat because all the food is bloody miserable. Maybe that's why they work. You're literally starving. Okay, that's gone. But all diet, well, I wouldn't say all diets work. Most diets work. And it is because if you're in a deficit, you will lose weight, right? So let's look at the keto diet. Everyone loves the keto diet, don't they? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the keto diet. So the keto diet is a low carb diet. And low carb is typically around 40 grams of carbs or less a day, which is wild, isn't it? Because earlier on I was talking about having 200 grams of carbs a day. And now you're like, oh my God, 40 grams. Does keto work? Yes, it can. But why does it work? So people lose weight on a keto diet because carbs make you hold water. Now, not in a bad way, but for every like a molecule of carbohydrate you've got, you have 3 molecules of water. So it's carbohydrate, right? Hydrate, water. So where's my lashes? Let's give this a go as I'm trying to talk, is it? It's going to be fun. Fun game. Okay, let's try. So when you stop eating carbs, that automatically means that your water weight's going to drop by like 75%, right? Because now you're not holding that water. So the water weight will decrease, but that doesn't mean that you're losing fat. And I don't think I've ever spoken to anyone who's been like, yeah, I don't really care about losing fat. I just want to lose my water weight. I don't want to look any better. I don't want to perform better or be healthy. I just want to be lighter and have less water in my body. I don't know anyone that's ever said that. If you have, then you're weird. But generally, people want to look better, and dropping carbs and losing water weight doesn't make you look any different unless, because it always depends, right? Unless you're very, very lean already, and then you can dehydrate your body a little bit and you can show a little bit more muscle mass and a little less, although you're flat then, so you don't show as much muscle. But basically, you look dehydrated. That's what people do to get on stage, for photo shoots, for whatever, for fighting. People dehydrate their bodies as a tactic. And it does work. Obviously, you hit a lighter weight. But if you are an average person or if you're overweight, it's not going to do anything for you. The other reason why keto works is because you eat less shit that you normally do. So most people for breakfast have cereals or bread. Guess what? Both carbs. If you just change that for eggs and bacon, you would still lose weight. It's got nothing to do with like the keto. It's that the bread and the cereals are high in sugar, high in, they're both processed, right? So they're going to make you hold on to gut content or have gut inflammation. And also, they're high in calories, and you never just have one. Oh, guys, I don't know if this is going to fit, man. I've worn these before. They're reused. Oh, no. Anyone got any tips? Help me out. Help a girl out here. I normally use the three-quarter ones, but fudge. Okay, so what about another diet? Also, with keto, fruit and veg are carbs, right? So if you can't have carbs, you can't have fruit and veg, which we know, because I mentioned earlier, helps with your gut health. And gut health is your health, essentially, your mental health, your physical health, your digestive health, hormonal health, right? So you need to have carbs in your diet. Okay. Wish me luck. I don't think it's going to work. God damn. Maybe I just don't touch it for the rest of the day. I'm doing a couple of videos. Okay, and then what's my thing on? A carnivore diet. People are loving the fucking carnivore diet these days. Well, guess what? That is when you eat only meat, right? Only animal products. Where are your vegetables? There are none, right? And then maybe you go on to like Atkins. Please, no one tell me people are still doing Atkins. But as far as I'm aware, that is low fat. And you need fat, especially as women, to have good hormonal health and to basically thrive through life. So that diet isn't going to work fully either. In fact, or cutting out things. You know, I'm going to cut out chocolate. I'm going to cut out bread. I'm going to cut out my favorite foods because I think if I do something really hard, I'll get really good results. But unfortunately, your body does not give a shit what you think is hard, and it will react, right? You cannot control your body. It's way cleverer than you. So now, what diets work? If every diet's got problem, what diet will work? So a diet that's 80% whole foods, which means that if you can't cook it, if you can't catch it in nature, if you can't pick it in nature, it is processed. So, like, no one has ever seen a loaf of bread like hanging off a tree, right? Growing off a tree. Maybe I'll make a reel. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Hey, look at this unprocessed bread hanging from this tree. Maybe I'll do that. But you can find a steak in nature, right? You can find eggs in nature. You can find rice in nature. Can't find pasta in nature. So look at that as like your telltale sign. Is this processed? No. If it is processed, keep it to 20% of the time. And this is why I like to keep my 20% chocolate. I don't like to waste it on pasta. I would much rather have a chocolate bar than some pasta, right? So when I'm saving my 20%, I'm like, I'm using that on chocolate, mate. There's no way I'm gonna miss my chance of some chocolate so that I can have a bowl of pasta, which I am starving after pasta anyway. Um, so I don't want to waste it. Here goes. I can already see this is not going to work. Why am I still trying this? God. Okay. So what diets do work? 80% whole foods. That works. Another way to find out if something's processed actually is if it's got like a million different ingredients on the back, things you don't naturally find in your cupboard, is processed. Even if it is high protein something, right? Fried a protein bar is still processed, Sheila. You're better off eating steak and eggs, right? Rather than that protein bar. But it's quick and easy. You can eat a boiled egg, take it with you. So you take a protein bar. It's fine. It smells. Well, so does your attitude. Stinks. Okay, so is this gonna stick? Help a girl? No, it's not. Look what's happened. Bollocks. So that is the diet that works. You need high protein diet. Studies show it doesn't matter if you have high carb, high fat, low fat, within reason. Obviously, you need a minimum amount of fat. But you do what's going to work for you. If you love cheese, do not go on a low fat diet. If you love rice, do not go on a low carb diet. Stop making things more difficult because they seem hard and you think that hard is going to yield better results, because that is not what actually happens. You need to be making sure that you are enjoying life, that you're flexible. That's the other thing. People stop eating out. It's like, there's a time to not eat out or eat out less. But there's also, if you want this to be sustainable for the rest of your life, you need that balance. So go through the phase of not eating out for like a few weeks until you got nutrition in check, and then you can start to add it back in. But don't be like, I'm just not going to do it, because you'll be miserable. Your friends won't like you anymore. Your family won't like you anymore. Your partner won't like you anymore. You won't like your life anymore. So it has to be sustainable. Okay. Um, And then if you have got hormonal problems, PCOS, if you're going through perimenopause, if you've ticked all the lists that I said earlier about stress, then the best diet for you typically, right, generally is, again, unprocessed, has to be unprocessed, lower carb. Generally. There are times where you should be eating more carbs if you've got these problems, you've got these hormonal issues. But generally, what we have found and the science shows is that a lower carb diet, very, very unprocessed, so mostly fruits and veg, like beans and pulses and all that kind of stuff, and generally high in fiber. So you're going to be looking about, uh, you're going to be eating about 25 grams of fiber a day. And from that, you should then start to see a difference and also feel a difference, because when you've got hormonal issues, feeling is even more important. You want the energy, you don't, severe cramping and all that kind of stuff. You just want to be happy and healthy. Okay, and then I'm nervous. Oh, a deficit. About the diet. How do you get into deficit? So stop using a calculator. That's the first thing. If you take anything from this or anything I ever say, stop using a freaking calculator to try and figure out your calorie deficit. Okay, your calculators look at your weight, your height, your gender, your activity, which everyone overestimates. And does it do anything else? Maybe or maybe not, but it doesn't do a ton. It does not take into consideration diet history, medications, medical issues, or medical conditions, whether you go through perimenopause, menopause, whether you've got any disabilities, your mental health. It doesn't take into consideration. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. Just gives you a fucking random number that I could spit out now. I'd be like, oh, Ali, you should do 1,600 calories and to leave it as that. No, it's not good enough, guys. It's unacceptable. So you need to be looking at What are you eating at the minute? Have you been tracking for the last 6 weeks? Have you? If not, I'd recommend tracking for a few weeks and see what you're actually eating. Just by doing this, you'll probably lose weight because you'll be like, oh shit, I didn't realize there's that many calories and I know I can eat that. And you'll probably start to lose weight anyway. If you have been tracking for a few weeks, this is what you now need to do. You need to look at your average week to week. Do you average? Because some days are going to be high and some days are going to be low, right? If you're really, really busy, maybe you don't eat as much. Or maybe when you're bored, you emotionally eat, you boredom eat. So you need to look at what your average is. What are you averagely eating a day? From that, you then look at your weight. Have you been gaining weight, losing weight, staying the same? And from there, you dictate what your next calorie allowance should be. So if you've been eating 2,700 calories and you're gaining weight, well, that means that you are eating in a surplus. Now, again, there's always nuances to this. It could be that you're eating something that's making your gut inflamed. It could be that you're just eating a lot of crap. It could be that your digestion is really slow the last few weeks. It could be that you do on your period. So you've got to take it with a pinch of salt and you've got to look at everything together. And actually, before you look at calories to reduce, I would say hit your protein target first, then your fiber target, and then see what your weight is doing, and then make adjustments from there. People want to jump into calories, but it is the third most important thing. First of all, protein, aim to hit that. Second, fiber, aim to hit that. Third, calories. That's when we can play with the levels, up or down, up or down. Okay. I'm nervous about going to the gym in case I look stupid. We all look stupid. Don't worry about it. We all look silly sometimes. But yeah, really, there's nothing you can do about it. The way I depends who it is, right? Depends who my client that I'm talking to is. But think about who is the most who is the most confident person at the gym? Who's the most confident person at the gym? Typically. Typically it is your personal trainers, right? Because they work there. It's their stomping ground, it's their arena. So all you gotta do, walk around like you work there, or like you're a personal trainer in a different gym and you're just coming to visit this gym for the day. You're gonna look around, you're gonna like pretend to pick things up, or you're gonna pick things up, pretend to look at it, put it back down, have a scope around, look at everyone, say hi, and you're gonna start to really be part of that community. Wave to people, smile at people, or just keep yourself to yourself, but look around as if you own the place. And then the next thing that I recommend for people to do as well is to have a home workout where they have like a couple of exercises like squats, push up, and if they've got dumbbells, that's even better. Do row and whatever there. So I program that at home, and then I just get them to walk on the treadmill at the gym. When they're walking on the treadmill, they can look around, they can see who's there, they can be like, oh, okay, that's where that machine is, that's where the dumbbells are, and you familiarize yourself with that place. Then I move them from their home workout and they do the same workout now just at the gym. And then once they're at the gym doing those workouts, then we can start to add in one or two machines and then we progress from there. So it's about like working your way into confidence instead of just being like, well, I just won't go to the gym. And what you'll find typically is, you're afraid of people's judgments, but first of all, you are your most harsh critic, right? No one is going to judge you harder than you judge yourself. And if you are there to make a change, which is why you should be there, really, then you should be proud of yourself for making that change and fuck everybody else's opinion. The second thing is if you are going to the gym and you're scared of the weights area because you're scared that the big beefy men will like look at you funny or judge you or you'd be doing something wrong and then laugh at you when the girls are there like are toned and really confident. So you're like, oh, I want to be like that, but I'll do that when I lose some weight. Coming back to the first question. Well, actually, those people at the gym know how difficult it is to stick with a diet, see results, be consistent, grind through years of training. And they are the most helpful people at the gym, not the people in classes who are so unconfident that they won't go into the gym, the weightlifting section themselves, and so rely on the instruction of the class teacher or other people like very, very cliquey, right? Or people that are just going and do cardio because they haven't got the confidence to go and do the gym workout. They are more likely to, in my opinion and my experience, they are more likely to judge you and heckle or, like talk about you or whatever than the people who are working on themselves downstairs who literally aren't even looking at you. People downstairs don't give a shit. People in classes, they are watching you. People on the treadmill or the elliptical or the rower or the spin bike, they are looking at you, right? The people downstairs or wherever it is in your gym, the people who are lifting weights are not looking at you. They're not thinking about you. They're probably thinking about their dinner. They're probably thinking about their rest time, their recovery, and how to get bigger. That's probably what they're thinking about. So don't worry about looking stupid because no one will think you look stupid. And even if you do, no one will say anything. No one who you should give a shit about, they're not going to say anything because, I see people all the time like, oh God, I wouldn't do it like that. But I wonder why they're doing it like that. Like we know when you're experienced, there are reasons why people do certain things in certain ways. Sometimes people might ask, oh, how come you're doing it like that? For example, because of my knee, I've been goblet squatting very, 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 very light to a box. And I used to be able to do like 90 kilograms. And I think people are probably thinking, oh God, she should be pushing herself. She's not doing it hard enough. But if anyone come up and asked, no one has. But if they did, then it's just because that's not what I'm doing right now. I'm not going for strength. I'm going for function of my leg. But that's the thing. Like people who are experienced know that people will be doing certain things in certain ways for particular reasons. And if people wanted to ask, they are just genuinely curious and want to know. And if you say, "Oh, I'm just doing normal," and they're like, "Do you mind if I give you some tips?" Cool. Then you won't worry about looking stupid anymore because you've had tips from someone who hopefully has got a fucking clue. So that is it for today. I think that's all the questions I've got. Anything here? No. No, 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 no. Cool. I've answered those. Alrighty. So I'm going to head off because I've got to film a podcast. I've got to film a podcast and then a couple of reels and then go to the gym. So yeah, I'm going like this. I'm going very glam today. People got a problem, they can judge me all they want. So that's it. If you've got any questions, let me know. Hopefully this is helpful and I will see you guys tomorrow for my weight update.